All right, lesson 6.3, rectangles, rhombi, and squares. Each of these three shapes has the same properties as a parallelogram from the previous lesson. So quadrilaterals, we've got parallelogram, rhombus, and rectangle all have the same properties. Square has the same properties, but then square also has the same properties as a rhombus and a rectangle. So you'll kind of see how those trickle down. So rectangles, same properties as a parallelogram, but it also has 4 right angles. So we've got 4 right angles, and then our diagonals are congruent. Okay, so we've got these same properties plus diagonals are congruent and all angles are congruent at 90. All right, so we know that AD is congruent to BC because its opposite sides are congruent. AB is congruent to DC because opposite sides are congruent. AC is congruent to BD because diagonals are congruent. And then AR is congruent to RC, and DR is congruent to RB. So each of these 4 pieces of the red line are also congruent. All right, so let's look at this. So TK is going to be congruent to RJ because they are opposite sides. TR is opposite KJ, so those are equal. TJ is congruent to RK, the other diagonal. And TH is going to be congruent to HJ because diagonals intersect or bisect each other. So then RH is congruent to HK. Some examples when you have expressions, and we're going to practice on this one. So AC, this diagonal is congruent to BD. And then I have AC is 3x plus 1 will be equal to 4 plus 2x. If I subtract 2x to this side, that leaves me with 1. Add or subtract 1 to this side, and that leaves me with 3. Again, it has 4 right angles, so then quadrilateral is a rhombus if and only if it has 4 congruent sides. And the diagonals are perpendicular, so that means each of the angles in the middle are 90. It also bisects the opposite angles, so it cuts the opposite angles in half. Remember, opposite angles are still congruent. Make sure that you write these properties down and keep them safe to use for future lessons. All right, so find the missing angle. Let's go back to this. This is 54, this is 54, this is 54, this is 54. So that together makes 108. And then we know that 180 minus this angle gives us this one. And then these are the same. So 180 minus 108 is 72. So angle 4 and angle 1 are 72. We got 20, 20, 20, 20. 180 minus 40 will give us 140. And 140 divided in half is 70 and 70. And then the middle angles are all 90. All right, so here we have this rhombus. So again, the middle angles are 90 because diagonals are perpendicular. So angles 2 and 3 are 90. And you also can figure out by the fact that a triangle adds up to 180. So we have 180 minus 90 minus 52. Minus 90 minus 52 should give us 38 as angle 1. And remember that opposite angles are congruent, even the halves. So 4 is also 38. And then by definition, a square is a rectangle and a rhombus. It has 4 congruent sides, and then it has 4 Right angles. So we have all sides are congruent, all angles are congruent, and 90. All properties of a rhombus apply, so opposite sides are parallel. Diagonals are perpendicular bisectors. Diagonals bisect the interior angles. And then all properties of a rectangle apply, as well as diagonals are congruent. All right, so then big property chart, which ones go with which? A couple of examples. And then we are going to classify these. So we have two pairs of congruent sides. So notice that this is not the same length as this. So that knocks out rhombus and square. And then it has four right angles. So this is a rectangle. Then here we've got four congruent sides, four right angles. That makes this a square. And then this one down here, we have four congruent sides, making that a rhombus. Now notice that the angles are not congruent. All four angles are not congruent. And there's some additional practice if you need it.